Right now at 5, authorities in Wilson County respond to an early morning fatal crash.
And we've got some drizzle, we've got some fog. It's going to be cloudy, breezy today, and that cold air on the way tonight. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, holiday travel can lead to holiday crime. What you can do to protect yourself and your home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KYM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
Chris Warner, it's Tuesday. It is November the 25th. We've got a couple more days till Thanksgiving. A lot of schools I know that today, I'm so sorry, this is like really loud. Maybe I'm just shouting. If I'm shouting, let me know. But
when are you shouting?
That's true. My family would always get on to me about that. And I'm like, you have to understand, I spend 3 hours straight shouting because we project.
You know, but we wouldn't recognize you if this wasn't the tone of voice that you had. What is wrong with Chris?
Like, hey, how you doing? So how are y'all doing? Hopefully it's been a good start to the week. I know we had some rain, a few rumbles of thunder yesterday, a little cloudy, a little dreary during the day, a little cloudy, a little dreary to start the day. Many kids, though, this is their last day of school. I don't know how many schools actually go on Wednesday. I don't think many of them do. Do any of them? I don't know.
I think a lot let out because, there's travel that you start because, so many people aren't leaving on Thanksgiving.
Right. I just heard Webb City's last day was actually on Friday. They get the whole week. We never got that. Okay, so our director, Tammy, said he's pretty jealous of his boys. That's the thing I miss about school. You had all those pre-built vacations. All right, enough of the pre-built vacations because the rest of us have jobs to do today, and you've got to get out that door, and you got to be prepared for at least a little drizzle, some fog out there. Let's start that live look downtown Pittsburgh. There it is. Roadways are pretty damp out there. We've had some showers overnight, had a few showers on the way in, a little drizzle. Not much out there. In fact, the Skywatch Storm Tracker, there's nothing on it. So we go back to those sprinkles, the drizzle. It doesn't really show up on radar, so I can't really tell you where it is, but there is some out there. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, wet roadways. We also have some patchy dense fog. Now, when I first got here, Fort Scott was under a mile of visibility, so some slight improvements. But following the 69 corridor from Fort Scott down to Pittsburgh, Miami, and then just north of Grove, it starts to clear out. But in the parts of Crawford, Barton, Vernon, and Bourbon counties, we do have some dense fog out there. So again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, just watch out for those rapidly changing visibilities as well. Temperatures this morning pretty similar to yesterday. Most of us in the low to mid 50s. Sedan, the cool spot at 48. Yesterday, we had the 40s off to the east, and now we've got them off to the west. Cloudy skies will persist through most of the day, which means some drizzle and isolated sprinkle will be possible, but skies will begin to clear this afternoon from west to east. Future track again trying to hint at maybe some sprinkles or some drizzle out there, but it's really difficult for it. However, we get later into the evening, and then we'll have those clear skies, and that colder air is on the way. All right, last bus stop forecast for this week. We're cloudy this morning, 53 as kids head out the door, 55 for lunch and recess, 58 as they head home. And again, mostly cloudy depending on where you are as the skies begin to clear this afternoon. We're going to go low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s one more time for those highs. Also breezy west winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. It will be breezy overnight tonight as well. And as I mentioned, our temperatures begin to drop, and we're going to be below normal heading into Thanksgiving. We're going to go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Authorities are also investigating 2 separate weekend fatalities in southeast Kansas, one involving highway traffic, the other involving a train. The first, a train pedestrian fatality in Altoona, Kansas. It happened around 3 p.m. Saturday. Investigators say 21-year-old Angel Stevens of Altoona was walking on West 7th Street and stepped in front of the train. They believe she did not see or hear it. A 3-vehicle crash claims the life of one woman south of Iola. It happened on Old Highway 69 near the Elm Creek Bridge Sunday evening. Investigators say Deanna Foster of Iola was driving a pickup and crossed the center and sideswiped 2 other vehicles. The pickup overturned, trapping Foster inside. She later died at the hospital. No one else was seriously hurt. Authorities in Fredonia respond to a fatal crash just after midnight Sunday. The crash happened on U.S. Highway 400 just northwest of Fredonia in Wilson County. A van traveling west veered into the oncoming lane and struck a semi-truck head-on. Troopers say the impact moved the semi to the shoulder. The driver of the van, Bradley Pleck of South Carolina, died at the scene. Holiday travel and shopping create more opportunities for crime. The Pittsburgh Police Department reports property crime peaks in December due to increased travel, package deliveries, and crowded stores. KWM's Kenny Foreman has what police want residents to know.
As many people get set to travel this holiday season, they could be leaving their homes more vulnerable to break-ins and theft. It's why the Pittsburgh Police Department is offering to help make sure their property is secure while they're out of town.
During this time of year, people are traveling for extended periods of time, going to visit family out of the area or out of state, so this is when we normally see maybe a slight pickup in some residential thefts and burglaries.
Deputy Chief Henderson says, according to 2022 through 2024 stats, there is a 20% increase in December burglaries in Pittsburgh compared to the other 11 months. It's also consistently the peak month for property crime. FBI crime data shows it's similar nationwide. It's a worrisome problem that is no stranger to a vibrant college town like Pittsburgh.
We know that sometimes around the university, when students are going to be gone from December to January for the winter break, during that period of time they may leave the residence they have down here for a while, and during that time they may be burglarized or a motor vehicle broken into.
Those away from home may feel uneasy, but the department is willing to do its part in making sure they come back finding everything the way they left it.
Our officers, as they're available, can go by and check, make sure everything appears to be okay with the residents. We would ask that if people are going to do that, if they could please leave a contact phone number for us in case there is an emergency or in case we need to get in touch with somebody, either them or a designated responding party for checking their house and everything.
And there's more steps residents can take to not leave anything to chance.
Timer switch for lights at your house, that way it has the appearance of somebody being home at irregular hours of time. And just generally, just like I said, make contact with your neighbors, ask them to help keep an eye out and report any suspicious activities. If anyone sees anything strange or unusual, you can always call the police department. We'll have officers come out and check it out.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, major legal victory for James Comey and Letitia James. A federal judge dismisses their indictments, ruling their interim prosecutor was unlawfully appointed. Plus, Casey Dutton trades the ranch for a badge. The Yellowstone spinoff Marshals follows his journey for justice with U.S. Marshals Service. And windy and cloudy conditions in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, and a blow to the Trump administration, a federal judge dismissed the indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. As Erica Brown reports, the Justice Department has vowed to appeal the decision.
A federal judge Monday dismissed the indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, ruling the interim U.S. attorney who secured their indictments, Lindsay Halligan, was unlawfully appointed by the Justice Department.
This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
Halligan was appointed as interim prosecutor after the previous U.S. attorney was ousted, but the judge ruled that interim position is limited to just one prosecutor serving for 120 days.
What the judge concluded here today is you can't then install somebody else, Lindsay Halligan, to serve another 120-day term. Basically, you get your first 120 days. You don't keep getting 120 days after that.
Comey was charged with making a false statement and obstruction of justice related to his congressional testimony in 2020. And James was charged with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the Justice Department will appeal the ruling.
We'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal, to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable for their unlawful conduct.
In Monday's ruling, the judge said the White House exceeded its authority with Halligan's appointment, but the Trump administration maintains the move was legal and called the ruling an unprecedented action. Both cases were dismissed without prejudice, meaning the Justice Department could seek to refile. But Comey's case runs up against a statute of limitations. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
This is the fourth time federal judges have disqualified interim attorneys appointed by the Trump administration, with rulings in New Jersey, Nevada, and Los Angeles. Still to come, the year-end healthcare rush is on. Patients schedule everything from wellness visits to colonoscopies before deductibles reset. Plus, windy and cloudy conditions. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. Fan favorite Yellowstone continues with a new spinoff set in rural Montana, and a woman must decide where to spend eternity. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Who knew life could get so complicated once it's over?
I have shocking news. You're dead. Yeah, how'd you know?
The film Eternity follows Joan's impossible choice as she's given just 1 week to decide how to spend eternity.
It's not a competition.
Yes, it is.
Should she build an afterlife with her first love who died young, or with Larry, her husband of 65 years, portrayed by Miles Teller?
I just find that character to just be very endearing, flawed, little, just what you see is what you get.
Eternity heads to theaters on Wednesday. Sporty Spice is working up a sweat in her newest single.
I'll make you sweat. Push yourself.
Spice Girl Mel C just released her new single Sweat, inspired by her life.
It's just like really embracing being Sporty Spice, my love of fitness as well as DJing and clubbing, and that's really how Sweat was born.
Mel C's new solo album will be released in April. Casey Dutton returns to television screens with a new series and a new mission.
You're not a killer, Casey. You're a protector.
This new trailer introduces the Yellowstone spin-off, Why Marshals. It follows Dutton's journey for justice after he leaves the family ranch and joins the U.S. Marshals Service.
You know that sometimes good men have to do bad things. But I'm trying to find a new beginning.
Why Marshals premieres in March on CBS and Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Certainly a lot of great options. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we have some patchy fog out there. We also have some wet roadways, light drizzle, a few sprinkles. It's going to be okay temperature-wise today, breezy. Our temperatures drop tonight, heading to the Thanksgiving holiday with below normal temperatures. We'll have a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:17. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 5:20 on this Tuesday morning. If you're familiar with the Little River Band and their song Reminiscing, that's what we've been doing here. Something came up, we've been talking about all the old movie theaters in town back when we were much smaller. I haven't grown a lot since then, but yeah, the good old days, lots of different places to go. Today, maybe some places to go, but wait until this fog clears because we've got Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, both reporting under 2 miles. In fact, Pittsburgh's at 1.3 miles visibility. This is bleeding through Bourbon, Vernon, Crawford, and Barton counties, and then down into parts of Cherokee County, into Ottawa County. We've got Miami, about 5 miles of visibility, and the eastern portions of Craig County. We also have, and you just saw that update. I love when it updates like that. That way I'm not making stuff up. So it just updated there. So Fort Scott's now up to 4, Pittsburgh's at 2, but still you want to watch out. And that's the thing. Now see, we've got new fog in between Sedan and Independence. The fog tracker updates periodically, and like I said, it's about every 10 minutes or so. And it also just relies on observation point data. So take this with a grain of salt in the sense that this is what we're looking at, but these things can change pretty quickly as we go through the morning. So low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. For the rest of today, cloudy, some drizzle, a few sprinkles will be possible, but skies will be clearing from west to east. Eventually going clear by later this evening. We're going to have west winds gusting up to 25, switching out of the northwest later as that cold air pushes in, and that'll push us back down to the low 30s tonight. But we'll have clear skies, northwest winds gusting tonight up to 25, gusting up to 20 as we go through the day on Wednesday. We start with clear skies, but we will eventually go partly cloudy out there. And then Thanksgiving, I know it's showing some little sprinkles, maybe not out of the realm of possibility Wednesday night, but not very likely. Thanksgiving, we start off with some mostly cloudy skies. We'll start to go partly cloudy, and as we head later into the day, we should just go mostly clear, if not clear. So those temperatures, again, as we head into our Wednesday, as you can see, they are going to be downright chilly out there. I forgot to take that out, but still, you get the idea. It's going to be cold. Cloudy skies. Low 50s to start, mid 50s by 11. As I mentioned, not a lot of movement in our temperatures. Didn't happen yesterday. Not a lot of movement expected today. We're going to eventually make the upper 50s, pretty close to what we made yesterday. Those west winds gusting on us up to 25. And as I mentioned, skies will begin to clear as we go later into the afternoon and into the evening hours. We'll have clear skies tonight, and that's also what's going to help fuel that big temperature drop as well. No clouds, no way to keep in any warmer air, and we'll be back down into the low 30s with those northwest winds gusting to 25. As for Thanksgiving, is what we're looking at. Partly cloudy skies out there, clearing out by the evening, and temperatures pretty darn chilly. Upper 30s to start, mid 40s by noon. That's where our highs are headed, mid upper 40s for Thanksgiving. So if you are heading out, even if you're staying in town, you're going to want to bundle up because it is going to be a bit on the cold side. Again, below normal as we go mid upper 40s tomorrow, Thanksgiving, and Black Friday. So we're starting into the upper 20s, low 30s, making the upper 40s out there. Again, some late showers. Those will continue into next week, warming up Sunday and Monday, at least for a minute or two. And that wintry mix for Tuesday, see, it's gone now. Things are going to change again, so that's why we want to watch it. Any rain chances or potential wintry weather, these chances are very low next week, but the big thing that we're watching is another big temperature drop. Look at next Thursday. Our highs into the upper 30s, lows into the low 20s out there. And wind chills tonight, by the way, could make the mid 20s, so bundle up. It's definitely going to start to feel like December as we head through the next several days. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Doctors across the region are seeing more patients as people rush to use their health insurance benefits before January 1st. Patients are scheduling everything from annual wellness visits to colonoscopies and lab work before their deductibles reset. But getting appointments with specialists remain the biggest challenge for patients trying to complete their care by December 31st.
With things that they've kind of put off and trying to rush in to get in, or things that may have just started and they're like, man, I just want to get this done before the end of the year.
Abigail Pierce is a nurse practitioner with Boston Mountain Health in Lead Hill, Arkansas. She says flu and cold season also drives up patient visits this time of year. Pierce recommends patients discuss medication refills with their providers now and schedule more frequent visits throughout the year to avoid the December crunch. A Mass General Brigham study finds pregnant women who stop taking popular GLP-1 weight loss medications before or early in their pregnancy could face a higher risk of weight gain, diabetes, and hypertensive disorders. Currently, it's recommended women stop using the drugs before pregnancy because there's not enough information about their safety for babies. The study's authors say more research is needed. People with untreated sleep apnea face a higher risk of Parkinson's disease. New research from Oregon Health and Science University found when sleep apnea goes untreated, breathing and oxygen intake during sleep is disrupted, impacting the functioning of neurons in the brain. Over the course of years, that can significantly increase the risk for neurodegenerative conditions, including Parkinson's. What happens when young adults stop using social media? A study published in JAMA monitored people aged 18 to 24 who reduced their social media usage. After just 1 week, the group experienced a 16% drop in anxiety, a 14% drop in insomnia, and a 25% drop in depression. Researchers say the bigger issue is problematic social media use rather than the amount of time people spend on social media. It's the time of year when doctors see an increase in patients as people try to get things taken care of before the deductibles start over on January 1st. Chris Bryant shares what you can do to avoid the rush for next year.
The holiday rush is on, and we're not talking about shopping.
With things that they've kind of put off and trying to rush in to get in, or things that may have just started and they're like, man, I just want to get this done before the end of the year.
People are trying to squeeze in everything from annual wellness visits to screenings like a colonoscopy and routine tests to follow-up appointments and lab work.
The big hindrance to that is getting in with a specialist that has to handle that. So sometimes we can and sometimes we can't.
But it's not just trying to get things taken care of before the new year that causes healthcare professionals to see an increase in patients.
Sick visits, we don't turn away any sick kids. If they have to be seen, they're seen same day.
Abigail Pierce is a nurse practitioner with Boston Mountain Rural Health in Lead Hill, Arkansas. She says the flu and cold season is another reason providers see an increase this time of year. An important thing to discuss with your provider at the end of the year is your medications to make sure you have refills and reassess your prescriptions.
Yeah, typically we respond to telephone encounters and refill requests, typically within 24 hours.
Time is of the essence when so many people want to be seen.
As far as like routine stuff goes, yeah, I mean, every patient is scheduled in a 20-minute block. So sometimes it can put us behind, especially if patients are like saving 10 problems for one visit.
And there is a simple way to avoid the end of the year rush.
You know, a way to do that is come in and see us more frequently.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Joplin now boasts the largest municipal bike park in Missouri, featuring more than 10 miles of trails.
And we've talked about the fog settling in now into downtown Pittsburgh, as you can see. We'll talk about that fog, the clouds, the wind, and the cold air on the way coming up.
Plus, students in Joplin Catholic schools pair up with some nonprofits to kick off their annual days of service.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, November 25th.
Which means we are just 2 days away from Thanksgiving. I know we've been reminding people all week, but hearing
probably tired of it, but
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
2 days. And like I said, the weather leading up to this, just like in October, we got to September 50th. I've had people still remind me we were counting up to that point, but it's just been so mild, it hasn't felt like the holidays. Now it's going to. As we get closer to Thanksgiving, it's going to feel a lot more like Christmas, but we'll get to that in just a moment. We do have some fog out there. How do we know this? We got the fog tracker, but we also have some cameras that are conveniently placed around the area, like this one in downtown Pittsburgh. And take a look at that fog. Just in the last 15 minutes or so, that fog has definitely thickened up out there. As we head down to 7th and Range Line in Joplin, not dealing with as much fog in the city of Joplin right now, as you can see from there. We're going to head over to the MoDOT camera at 32nd in Range Line in Joplin. Also, not so much fog there, but still some wet roadways, so you do want to be cautious. Here's what the fog tracker looks like. We've got some denser fog settling in between Fort Scott and Pittsburgh. So Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, both reduced visibilities. Good portion of Crawford County, so that's 69. And heading into the western portions and even up to the I-49 corridor into Barton County, parts of Vernon, Bourbon County, back toward Iola. Yates Center, not so bad, but then you get into western Montgomery and eastern Chautauqua counties in southeast Kansas. Sedan, Independence, some reduced visibilities. That's going to include parts of US 75. So again, just be cautious. Watch out for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities, because you can see, I know these are bigger gaps than they look like on the map, but we get those drops and then it thickens back up again. So just be cautious. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Temperatures this morning, much like yesterday, some was a little milder. We had a lot of low 50s. I have a few more mid 50s out there, so we get some 55-degree readings. And our cool spot this morning, instead of being in the east, because yesterday it was Monette, this morning it's Sedan, sitting at 49 degrees. Now with the clouds, we could get some drizzle. We've seen some drizzle. It does not show up on radar. We could get some drizzle through the morning into the afternoon with some of these clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two. Rain chances overall very, very low. Skies will clear from west to east. We'll have gusty west winds transitioning out of the northwest as we go later this evening and overnight, and that's going to usher in that colder air. One last bus stop forecast before we get into the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll go about 53 heading out the door. Cloudy skies, 55 for lunch and recess, 58 when the kids come home. And again, depending on where you are, will determine whether you're mostly cloudy or not. But skies clearing, low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s for those highs, west winds gusting upwards of 25. Now, as I mentioned, we're ushering in much colder air, going from above normal temperatures to below normal temperatures in the next 24 hours. Details on that and a look at your Thanksgiving forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A world-class bike park in Joplin opens to the public. The rain didn't stop the city of Joplin from opening its newest attraction yesterday. The 95-acre facility is now the largest municipal bike park in Missouri. It features more than 137,000 square feet of bike park elements for all ages and skill levels, and 10 miles of mountain bike trails. The project was funded through a local sales tax, hotel tax, and a $1.5 million state grant.
What's so unique about this project is this really is a world-class bike park, and now it's in Joplin, Missouri. We build these all over the world. This is unique for us because we got to build one right here in our hometown.
Officials announced plans for a major bike festival in 2026. It's expected to draw riders from across the nation. Students with the Joplin area Catholic schools rolled up their sleeves for their first system-wide day of service. Kids from all 4 schools are participating in tailored service projects in partnership with various local organizations. In this case, kids are at the Schroeder Family Explorium, moving boxes and organizing in preparation for Thursday's Turkey Trot. Other participating organizations include the Salvation Army and Community Clinic. Students serve both on and off campus. Some have already put theirs up, while others wait until after Thanksgiving. We're talking about Christmas trees popping back up in homes once again, and people flocking to tree lots to claim their own. For those who still want a live or cut tree for the holiday, Nick Kelly shows us simple ways to keep it healthy.
Mandy Turner is the retail manager for Carson's Nurseries, where live evergreen trees are ready for purchase and decorating. Not only is her home and the nursery set for Christmas, she's been handling calls for Christmas trees for a while.
My first call was actually on Halloween for a Christmas tree. But they were looking for cut Christmas trees, which we don't offer. We do offer live trees.
While the nursery checks trees for any bagworms or insects before selling, tree shoppers can take their trees home, inspect, and shake the tree over a white cloth. Any bugs that fall can be vacuumed up. Whether it's a cut tree or a live tree that will be planted after Christmas, Turner says one key factor will help make sure it stays fresh.
Keeping your root mass moist is going to ensure that you're not going to have that needle drop or that the leaves falling off. It's not going to show damage till 30 days later, but as long as you keep that root system moist and keeping it hydrated, you shouldn't have any issues.
While the root ball doesn't need to be in standing water, trees must be checked for water each day or a couple times a day, depending on the tree. Turner also recommends a 3-day period for a tree to rest in the garage to acclimate to the heat inside your home. She also encourages live tree buyers to cool it down after the holiday for keeping.
Then we put it back outside. After that, after we get it planted, we got to keep up on the watering on it still. It's a real Christmas tree. You cut it, it gets cut down, the tree is done, we use it for a Christmas tree, and then we throw it in the burn pile. This way, I mean, you can still enjoy it for years to come.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, artificial intelligence creates a convincing Christmas lie. Plus, Thanksgiving dinner for $40. Stop and Shop offers a complete holiday meal deal as retailers compete for price-conscious shoppers. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, tourists looking for some holiday magic at Buckingham Palace in Britain got a royal reality check. Turns out what was supposed to be the first ever Christmas market at the palace, with wooden stalls and twinkling lights just outside the gates, was nothing more than a very merry AI hoax. Pictures went viral online, but they were cooked up by artificial intelligence, not royal elves. A bipartisan group of U.S. Senate members have asked the Federal Trade Commission and the Securities and Exchange Commission to investigate Facebook parent company Meta over claims the tech giant profits off fraudulent and scam posts. A new report from Reuters alleges the tech giant earns as much as $16 billion in profits annually from advertising for scams and banned goods on its platforms. In a statement to Reuters, Meta said it has large goals to reduce ad scams, and it notes that the company has removed more than 130 million pieces of scam ad content this year so far. The lawmakers demand federal regulators impose steep penalties. Local TV station group's owner Sinclair has made an unsolicited bid to buy smaller rival EW Scribs for $7 per share. Sinclair has set a December 5th deadline for a response. Scripps says its board will review the offer. Sinclair says the merger would strengthen local journalism, though critics say it will lead to more media consolidation. Sinclair owns or operates 185 TV stations, while Scripps operates more than 60 stations. And Krispy Kreme's new holiday line features 5 festive donuts, with 2 celebrating iconic peanut characters, Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Fans can grab a dozen in a special commemorative box starting Saturday. The iconic Times Square New Year's Eve ball is getting a makeover for the upcoming 2026 celebration. Organizers of the big event were in Times Square Monday ahead of the ball drop to unveil the new crystal ball. It's almost 12.5 feet wide and covered in more than 5,200 water-forward crystals. That's nearly twice as many as the previous ball, and these crystals are round, not triangular.
Circles represent infinity, and our design concept is all around 3 different meanings, which is joy, light, and new beginnings.
The ball represents hope. It's the ticking of time. It's putting 1 year behind us and looking forward to the next.
The ball will make its debut at New York's biggest New Year's Eve party on December 31st. After that, ticket holders can see the ball for a fee on a viewing deck in Times Square. We're in the final shopping days for the big feast on Thursday, and according to Wells Fargo, there's some relief in the cost for this year's meal. Bradley Blackburn checks out the deals.
At this Stop and Shop in Clifton, New Jersey, shoppers are planning their Thanksgiving menu.
All the carbs, so stuffing, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese. That's a newer one.
I'm the guest, yeah. I bring the wine.
Of course, the turkey.
Gotta have the turkey.
Yeah, that's the best part.
This year, the store is offering a way to get that spread of holiday favorites on the table for $40.
All of this for $40. You got the turkey, and you've got all the different colored sides, and of course the dessert with a pumpkin pie.
Other retailers, including Walmart and Aldi, have similar offerings, all to draw in price-conscious customers. Stop and Shop External Communications Manager Daniel Wolk.
We're able to work with our merchandisers to lower these prices and make sure that if we combine them correctly, if we use our own brand Stop and Shop items, which are just as good as other brands, that we can make this possible.
According to Wells Fargo, most families will spend more. The average cost of ingredients to feed 10 people totals $80 if you buy store brand products.
A Wells Fargo analysis found the average cost of this year's Thanksgiving meal is down about 2 to 3%, largely because inflation-sensitive items like beef and eggs aren't on the menu. Savings also depend on your shopping strategy.
We're seeing more pressure on the national brands because the store brands are getting so good and so popular. You want to make sure you get the best value by checking out all those factors.
Stuffing, prepared gravy mix, and fresh cranberries have all dipped between 3 and 4%. And as for the price of the Big Bird, down 3.7%.
Most turkeys, more than 50% of the turkeys in Thanksgiving get sold on a promotion to get you into the store.
All ways to get the most bang for your buck this Thanksgiving. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Clifton, New Jersey.
The beverage budget might need some careful consideration. Wells Fargo found beer is up, but wine is flat and has multiple price points. Your best bet for soft drinks? Get the 2-liter bottles and queue up the cups and ice cubes. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got some of that patchy fog still out there. You can see some slight improvements on our downtown Pittsburgh camera since we last saw you, but more fog still there. Some drizzle, some clouds, gusty winds, colder weather tonight. Details on all of that plus your Thanksgiving forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:45. We'll be right back.
Young adults are looking for ways to save money these days. See what they're doing less of in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Tyson Foods is closing one of the largest beef processing plants in the country. The company announcing it's shuttering its operation in Lexington, Nebraska. It will also convert its Amarillo, Texas beef facility into a single full capacity shift. The Lexington plant, which has operated for 35 years, employs nearly 3,200 people and can slaughter almost 5,000 cattle a day. Another 1,700 workers will be impacted in Amarillo. Tyson recently reported an operating loss for its beef division of more than $1 billion. Rising costs are making budgets feel tighter for many. A new report published by the International Dairy Foods Association shows that when young adults spend money at restaurants, they are looking for ways to save. It says they split appetizers, order from kids' menus, choose lower cost items, or avoid the meal entirely. For example, customers aged 25 to 35 once made up roughly a quarter of Chipotle's sales, but traffic from this group has fallen for 3 straight quarters. And the White House is getting ready to deck the halls with a little help from a Michigan tree farm family. The White House Christmas tree arriving on Monday. It was welcomed by First Lady Melania Trump. Corson's Tree Farm in Sidney Township, Michigan was selected to provide this year's tree. The family business has been growing trees since the 1970s. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a look at your forecast.
Excuse me. Yes. All right. Fog tracker. That's where we're going to start. All right. It's cheese makes you happy. I've talked about this before, and I bought like $10 worth of cheese from our break room. And I'm really happy right now. I'm not kidding. It's good stuff. And we have some fog, and that's what you got to be careful about. So Crawford County, Western Barton, parts of Vernon, Bourbon, parts of Montgomery, Chautauqua, Elk counties, just south of Fredonia. We have some patchy fog. Some of it has been dense at times. Pittsburgh's now just over a mile of visibility. Fort Scott at 4, and Independence just under 4, Sedan just under 5. So you need to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, be aware the roads are still wet. There's still wet leaves on the roads, so you need to slow down there as well because your stopping distance increases. And you got to watch out also for rapidly changing visibilities. Because as we've discussed, this relies on observation station data, and if there's not an observation station, if you get into a really rural area and there's a big gap, then it doesn't necessarily have that data. Even in urban areas, there can be gaps. We've seen that happen before, so just be cautious this morning. Once we get past that, some patchy drizzle, perhaps a sprinkle or two, will be possible under the clouds today before they start to clear out, but they will exit from west to east as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours, leaving us with clear skies late this evening and overnight tonight, which is also going to allow us to get pretty darn cold. Now, we're going to have gusty west winds today, gusty northwest winds tonight. I want to tell you now, the wind chills overnight tonight into tomorrow morning could be into the mid-20s. So we're talking very cold air out there. For Wednesday, though, we start off again with those clear skies. We'll eventually go partly cloudy. The future track is hinting at like a sprinkle or two overnight Wednesday into Thursday. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen, but there might be a little raindrop or two. We'll start our Thursday with partly to mostly cloudy skies for Thanksgiving. Then we'll start to clear out. And the rest of the day looks good, but you do need to be prepared for it to be pretty darn cold out there. All right, this morning, cloudy skies, again, some drizzle, some patchy fog, maybe a sprinkle or two, but any rain chances we have are extremely low. We'll go in the low 50s, mid 50s by 11, and again, with the clouds and everything, we really don't do much movement on our temperatures as we go with highs into the upper 50s, very much like yesterday. Those west winds, again, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Northwest winds tonight, gusting upwards of 25, clear skies, and of course, without any kind of cloud cover at all. That's also going to help fuel this temperature drop. Not just that front that's pushing through, that cold front, but also just there's no clouds. So we're going to lose any warming. We get back down into the low 30s tonight. As for Thanksgiving itself, can't do too much complaining. It's going to certainly feel like the holidays, but we will technically be below normal. We'll start our day into the upper 30s by 9. We'll go mid 40s by noon and about 40 by 6 o'clock that evening with a high of about 48 degrees. So again, even if you're staying local, you want to bundle up. If you're taking any hot food with you, it may be cold by the time you get where you're going if you're going too terribly far. But otherwise, at least for traveling, it's not going to be too bad from a weather perspective. Traffic, on the other hand, always a different story, but shouldn't be too bad out there for us. Okay, so mid-40s tomorrow, upper 40s on Thanksgiving, upper 40s Black Friday. Some showers late in the day. We're starting Black Friday, upper 20s, low 30s, so make sure you bundle up. Rain chances into the weekend, and much colder air starts to settle in into the first week of December. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
You never really know what's happening inside cars in a parking lot, but you probably wouldn't expect a baby being born. It happened last weekend at Buc-ee's in Springfield, Missouri. Nathan and Jenna Birdsong were rushed to the hospital at 3 in the morning on Saturday, but for baby Elena, she just wasn't going to wait that long. The couple pulled over into a Buc-ee's. When they realized they weren't going to make it, Nathan called 911 and a representative from Mercy Hospital talked him through what to do. Well, families across the 4 states can find free Thanksgiving meals this week. Several local organizations are serving warm dinners to anyone who needs one. Organizers say each year brings different challenges, so they recommend checking websites and social media pages for the latest schedules and registration information. Many of the meals require advanced sign-up.
And we've got some patchy fog, some drizzle, maybe a sprinkle or two possible out there for us this morning. We've got those cloudy skies otherwise, low 50s to start, mid 50s by 11. Not a lot of movement on those temperatures. We'll go eventually upper 50s today, breezy as well. West winds gusting to 25. Now skies begin to clear from west to east as we head into the afternoon. So again, some of you, especially further west, let's say Yates Center, for example, Eureka, for example, you may already be partly cloudy or even mostly clear by noon, where others are not quite there yet. Eventually clear skies by this evening. That cold front starts pushing through, still on schedule for about 5-6 o'clock. And as it does so, winds will shift out of the northwest, still gusting to 25, and those temperatures begin their drop. And eventually we go back into the low 30s, could even get some upper 20s out there. And then we have wind chills tonight, thanks to that are going to be back into the mid 20s. I mean, we're talking it's going to get cold like that. That's why they call it a cold snap. Just kidding. That's not why they call it that. Thanksgiving. All right, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies early in the morning, going partly cloudy through the morning, afternoon. Upper 30s by 9, mid 40s by noon, and about 40 by 6. Highs only into the upper 40s, so pretty chilly day out there. We're going to go mid 40s for tomorrow. Still breezy. Northwest winds gusting to 20. Showers late on Black Friday. A very cold start again. Upper 20s, low 30s, only into the upper 40s. Rain chances through the weekend. A bit warmer Sunday and Monday. More rain and much colder by next weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more after this.